Hey everybody, Nick Espinosa, your chief security fanatic here, and today we are talking about something that I can basically say, I told you so, and I've been telling you so for years at this point. We are talking about TikTok, and TikTok is destroying your privacy. I have been, as I said, mentioning this for years. Now we've got studies. Now we have even more confirmation than the confirmation I had before, and we'll talk about that as well. But here's what's going on. This is coming from an article from The Wrap entitled, and I quote, "TikTok can circumvent Apple and Google privacy protections and access full user data, two studies say." This is from Antoinette Sue, and it is a great article. Now here's essentially what's going on. As I mentioned, TikTok can circumvent security protections on both Apple and Google app stores and uses device tracking that gives TikTok's Beijing-based parent company ByteDance full access to your data, according to the summaries of two major studies obtained by The Wrap, and they basically appear to confirm long-standing concerns raised by privacy experts about the popular video sharing app. Now, I talked about this a while ago, that a colleague of mine basically reverse engineered this, said that this app was doing a whole bunch of different stuff, including scanning networks. So in other words, if it's on your wireless, it was circumventing security controls, scanning your wireless, cataloging everything that you were doing. It basically was a surveillance app first and a stupid video app second, and here we go. Two more studies confirming what I've been talking about for quite some time. Now, these studies were conducted by cybersecurity experts and completed in November of 2020 and January of 2021. The Wrap verified these studies and then confirmed their conclusions with 5 independent experts. Now, the summaries of these studies shared exclusively with The Wrap suggest that TikTok is able to avoid code audits on the Apple and Google app stores, and that's according to the report. And I quote, "More alarmingly, the research found that TikTok is capable of changing the app's behavior as it pleases without users' knowledge and utilizes device tracking that essentially gives the company and third parties an all-access pass to user data. This is highly unusual and exceeds the abilities of US-based apps such as Facebook, Twitter, and other social media platforms." Now, this is something that I've talked about for quite some time. Due to the work that I've actually done in China, China has different standards for what they consider spyware. Here in the United States, spyware or adware or malware is essentially when you are told, or I should say rather not told or prompted, that the product you're installing, the software you're installing, is also sideloading or installing other apps, applications, or doing things outside of its stated concern. So for example, if I'm installing Microsoft Office here, as an example, if Microsoft Office wanted to install a third-party app that did something outside of the normal functions of Microsoft Office, I should be getting a prompt that says, "Do you want to install X?" with an explanation of that. In China, there is none of that. So a single installation, I've literally witnessed this personally on a cybersecurity assignment in Beijing, where one single program that seems legitimate installs about half a dozen to a dozen different programs onto the computer. And if you're not paying attention, you don't necessarily know where they go because not all of them register themselves in add remove programs. There you go. This is what we're talking about here for TikTok. And I quote again, "These dynamic properties allow TikTok carte blanche access to your device within the scope of what an application can see." That's according to Frank Lockerman, cyber threat engineer at the cybersecurity firm Conquest Cyber, who reviewed these studies for The Wrap. I quote again, "The TikTok browser not only has access to convert from web to device, but it also has the ability to query things on the device itself." So there you go. It seems like ByteDance has gone to just extreme lengths, possibly more than Facebook and Twitter, obviously major social mining platform or data mining platforms, as well as other social networks, to conceal the inner workings of their app. And that is a huge, huge problem. Now, these two studies examined TikTok's source code in 2020 and 2021 and looked into basically how this app is collecting data that relates to, and I quote, "contacts, device ID, and clipboard actions, and conceals data being sent to and from TikTok servers." The studies uncovered a concerning lack of anonymized data as well. So for example, TikTok reportedly uses device IDs for ad integration, which means that advertisers can end up tracking you over time across device and installations. Now, According to the report as well, once one advertiser has a device ID that's correlated, all privacy is gone, meaning they can sell it, they can share it, they can use it over and over and over. And earlier this month, it was also reported that TikTok, quote, sends data to more third parties than any of its competitors. In a new study, URL Genius leverages Apple's new privacy features to track where the various applications send user data. They determined that TikTok, on average, makes contact with 13 third-party domains, far higher than Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, or Snapchat. Although YouTube and TikTok's use an average of 14 trackers overall, 10 of YouTube's trackers are first-party contacts, meaning that it primarily deals with user data for its own purposes, such as determining relevant advertisements. TikTok is data mining the bejesus out of you. And for the record, we basically have known this for quite some time. Like I mentioned, that past colleague that had basically reverse engineered TikTok and laid out all of these things. This is a data mining app. This is a gross violation of your privacy. And even if it's on your phone and you're not opening it, it is going basically and circumventing the Google and Apple security controls to do whatever it wants. It's morphing itself into whatever ByteDance wants TikTok to be. And by virtue of that, it can be an amorphous thing that can collect data, basically give unique identifiers of who you are to third parties. And we all know, stemming from the 2017 data security law in China, that if you are a Chinese-based corporation and you have information on foreigners, essentially in your ecosystem, the Chinese government is required to have access to that. Why are people using TikTok? Why doesn't the world basically understand this? And for like the 3 people on the planet that will probably watch and listen to this, and obviously I hope it's a lot more, I've got more followers than 3, understand that this is a message that has to be spread. We can have our stupid video apps, we can enjoy social media, but we have to recognize data mining, and we also have to recognize the threat if our data gets into the hands of foreign governments. I don't care what that foreign government is. It could be Canada from here in the United States, and we're super friendly with Canada. It's still a foreign government. And now we're talking to one that has essentially adversarial, especially on the economic side, adversarial interests to the United States and the Western world. Look at their Belt and Road Initiative. This is a huge problem. TikTok needs to go. It is a very serious issue. Now, when the Trump administration said that, oh, it's time to get rid of TikTok, we're gonna ditch TikTok here in the United States. Obviously, they had political motivations for that. I'm not speaking to those political motivations. I don't care if you loved or hated the former president, or you love or hate the new guy, whatever that is. All I'm saying is, I think overall, if I'm looking at that from a cybersecurity and privacy standpoint, that would have been a correct thing to do. And so here we are. TikTok is violating your privacy deeply. This is probably the 18th million video I've made on TikTok as we just get these news, whether they're violating their own privacy policies, changing their privacy policies to collect more data, not telling you about things in their privacy policies as we just learned, or essentially creating something that is hijacking and stealing your information directly from your device and can look at you from multiple IDs. If you have multiple devices, it's going to know exactly who you are, not to mention scanning your internal networks for other devices and computers that may not have TikTok on it. This is a huge problem. Uninstall TikTok now. You can't say I didn't tell you. And please like, share, follow me here on Facebook and Twitter, where you will be, for the record, data mined, but not as bad as TikTok. And please feel free to subscribe to me at YouTube as well, where you'll also be data mined, but not nearly as bad as TikTok. And as always, stay safe, stay online, and please stay private, which is impossible if you use TikTok. Thanks all.